British and they were considered, but you were not. That time was one of the difficult phase of my life because that made me more of an insecure person. She was sitting in a bus and some white men approached her to stand up and go and sit where the black people were sitting, and she refused to stand up. And that refusal turned out to be a moment. You are not confident in your own self, and if you're not confident for who you are as a person, nobody, no person in this world can convince you to be confident in your own skin and accept yourself for the way you are. Not even me. But if they are with you for the person you are, for your personality, your mindset, your skills, they are not going to leave you because there's no other person like you, no other experiences like you. So focus on becoming more and more presentable with your skills, with your attitude, with your thoughtfulness, your empathy, and all that, rather than focusing on things that are very transient, such as beauty. Hey everyone, welcome back to your channel once again. In today's video, I'm going to talk about acceptance, and it is not going to be just another pep talk for you to accept yourself just the way you are, but it is going to be with all the facts and logics that you need to understand to accept yourself just the way you are, to accept your skin the way it is, and to become the better version of yourself. First off, let me start with why am I creating this video and what inspired me to create this video. So a couple of days ago, I went to a wedding and I was clicking pictures, and there was this group of girls and they were around 12 to 13 years old. Probably they were entering into their teenage phase, and I clicked their pictures. They came to me and they were like, "Please zoom karo," and I zoomed it and they checked it out and they were like, "Why did you not put a filter on?" I was like, "I don't have any filters. Like, I don't have any sort of app that would put filters on an, you know, camera and anything. All I have is this camera." And she was like, "I don't like this picture because I look too dark in this picture and, you know, my color complexion is not good." Then I clicked another picture and she had the same reason. And from there, I could see my teenage self in that girl because that's who I was. I mean, she at least knew that somehow it could be the lighting or anything, but I was a total hater of my own skin and how I looked because raise your hands if you ever had a crush on somebody in your school days or your college days, or you know, if you were removed from a dance or your drama play or anything just because you had a darker complexion or you are more brown than others, they had a fairer, complexion, even if they were whitish, you know, wheatish, and they were considered, but you were not. And then I got to understand that my skin, a lot of people told me that your skin is a kind of wheatish complexion and it's not brown and it's not dark. But during those days, let me tell you, and I'm being very honest, during those days, my skin was not the skin that you can see. There are two, three things when you consider. First is your camera, second is your lighting, and the third is your skin texture. Like a lot of time there are pigmentation and tanning on your skin just because you were not wearing sunscreen those days and you were not um, taking care of your hydration and your skincare and all those things. And there used to be, I've always been that person. I always had hair and facial hair, and I always had so many issues to deal with. And that time was one of the, difficult phase of my life because that made me more of an insecure person. Gradually I learned to live with myself and how am I, and to do, um, taught myself to do makeup as well and to, you know, be a little presentable. But at that time, I was just a teenage girl, facing all that circumstances, and I did not have the guts to stand up to people and tell them that I also, can look beautiful. Because at that time, I was not that woman I am right now, and at that time, I did not meet those women that I meet these days. These days, I meet people who are like, "You're gorgeous, you're amazing, you're beautiful," and we have these things. We actually uplift each other. We give such compliments and supportive words of affirmation to each other that we do not feel at any point in time we would not feel like we're not doing enough or we are not good enough or we do not look good enough. But at that time, it was such a phase, and teenage phase, the phase where you hit puberty, it's gonna be difficult. It has to be difficult because it is that phase. And so when I talk about all this, I get lost in the conversation because, to be honest, to be very frank with you guys, at some point in time, we all have had those situations where we've been judged either for our skin tone or for our facial hair or for the way we looked or the symmetry of our face. But with time, you will learn to accept yourself. So, this is something that not me, not anyone, nobody can teach you. It's just something that you will learn from your own self, that you will learn with time, with experiences. Nobody can, force you. Nobody can teach you how to love yourself or how to appreciate the human being that you are and how to appreciate your own skin and how to be happier and healthier in your own skin. Nobody can teach you these things. Only you can teach yourself. But for that, I would just tell you that do not look up to people who are just glorifying the narrative of these toxic beauty standards, the fairness cream and all that bleaching and everything. Follow and look up to people who tell you what you can do in all the possible ways to look the way you are, but still be healthy and still be looking presentable. You have to follow those people. So as long as you are doing all that social media stuff and scrolling all the time, doing things, you will be like that. You will feel like you're not doing enough and you are not good enough. All these things are going to happen with you because even the prettiest women in the world can sometimes be insecure because there can be some other woman who's prettier than her. So that's what I always read, and I always tell people that, if there are people who look for beauty or who look for the most beautiful eyes or anything, they will find some other beautiful eyes and they leave you. But if they are with you for the person you are, for your personality, your mindset, your skills, they are not going to leave you because there's no other person like you, no other experiences like you. So focus on becoming more and more presentable with your skills, with your attitude, with your thoughtfulness, your empathy, and all that, rather than focusing on things that are very transient, such as beauty. So, coming back to the story I started with, no matter what I did, no matter what I told to those girls, and even though I tried my best, it would not make any sense because it's their age to feel like that, and they are surrounded by such people who use filters and apps to look beautiful and all that, different social media apps who would put filters and make you even more beautiful with beautiful eyes and perfect nose and symmetrical face and all that. But when you grow up, you realize that this is what you have. This is your real skin. This is your real self. And that is where you really need to work upon. So, all these things, if I force you that, start loving yourself, start doing this, and you're beautiful just the way you are, go listen to this song or go watch the celebrity doing amazing in their lives, and you're beautiful, you are not dark, and you are not this, that. If you are dark, accept yourself, but also accept the fact that you are beautiful in your own skin. You're beautiful for the way you are, for the way you treat people, for the empathy that you have, and for the way people look at you. Not just for your beauty, your mindset, and the person you are. There's far better things that you hold within yourself. So I can never force you to actually appreciate this or accept yourself, but only you are the person. You can force yourself, you can convince yourself, you can teach yourself these things. Only you can do that for yourself. Nobody else can do that. And I'm pretty sure of that. And in the recent times, I have realized and I have learned that the world's brightest talents come in all shades, in all forms, from all ethnicities. Because I look up to a lot of people, and like Priyanka Chopra Jonas and Simone Ashley, Maitrey Ramakrishnan, all of these actresses, and they have, earned this. They have earned this from their hard work and years of putting their work into one thing, and then they have made it so big in the industry that a lot of girls like me and like you, we all look up to them. If you have watched Bridgerton, you probably know Kate Sharma, the character she played, and it was a beautiful character, and she was amazing. She was mesmerizing. So, if you look up to such people who tell you how to appreciate the gorgeous person that you are, how to appreciate and how to be happy in your own skin, you will learn it. Because even if I am wheatish, if they call it wheatish, even if I'm wheatish, there are certain colors that would not suit me. There are certain hairstyles that would not suit me, and there are certain features of me that would not align with certain sort of outfits. So if you learn to be presentable with all that you are, like with all your personality and everything, you will learn to live with your insecurities. And during my school days, I would read all of the stuff related to such oppressions and such movements wherein people fought, like Rosa Parks, one of the ladies. She has been an inspiration to many because she won many awards for that. Because if you know the story, I'll just give you a brief. She was sitting in a bus and some white men approached her to stand up and go and sit where the black people were sitting, and she refused to stand up, and that refusal turned out to be a moment. So all of these things, little by little, we have reached here finally. So now media is also understanding the advertisements and all that. They are changing with time because we are understanding that the Gen Z, our generation, is not appreciating the norms, is not appreciating the stereotypes, but we are appreciating inclusivity, and we are appreciating ethnicity, diversity. We are appreciating the reality. The more real you are on the screen, we are appreciating it. And our generation, I'm so proud to say that, but our generation is a wonderful generation. No matter what people say, but I understand it because I can see that the kind of shows I'm watching and the way I'm rating it and the way I'm understanding how it is affecting people, how am I going to review it, and all these things. Everyone around me, my friends as well. So we are all contributing in some way or the other. So I just want to say one thing, that your worth is not tied to your lighter or darker skin, and it is just biases constructed by systems to just divide people, and it does not define your talent, your humanity, your empathy, or anything. So, as long as it doesn't define any of that, you need not be so dependent on your skin tone or your skin color, and you should not let others bring you down or m- make you feel like you're not good enough at any given point in time. Yeah, and one more thing, at some point, talking about the logic and how it all started. Africa and India and countries like so many countries like us used to be colonized during those days. And you know who colonized us during those times? And the people who colonized, they were mostly the lighter skinned people. And they favored their own people. They gave jobs and opportunities and higher positions and authority to their own people. And they treated people of darker skin tones or all the people in general as if they were slaves. So they gave inferior jobs to them and superior jobs to their counterparts, to their, you know, lighter skinned people. And now, with the changing times, we are learning that it is not related to any sort of inferiority or superiority. However, the skin tones are nothing but just a representation of our humanity. We all have different skin tones, and need to understand, we really need to deep dive into things before judging some other person or judging a skin tone or some other person. If you talk to your own relatives or people who are, you know, older than you, and they have seen a lot of things and they understand a lot of things, there is a generation gap and there's a knowledge gap as well. on their end, they do not seem to understand and appreciate diversity the way we do, the way my generation, the Gen Z, is doing. So there is a difference, but I really hope that in the upcoming times we will learn to live with diversity. We will learn to appreciate diversity because it's very important, and it's important so we can live in harmony with each other. Because the independence that we have received and the independence that we're enjoying, it was not a one day thing. It happened with time. Whether it is for India or it is for Africa, everywhere. It happened with a lot of struggle. So yeah, I think it has been a long time I've been speaking, and this video is gonna be very long. But I really wanted to talk about this topic, and I really wanted you guys to understand. One more point I probably forgot to mention that I was probably a teenager when it was Fair and Lovely, and now I am an adult. It's not Fair and Lovely anymore, it's Glow and Lovely because they understood the algorithm, they understood how the Gen Z mind works, and they understood that not everyone is going to appreciate it. So, fast forward to today, a lot has changed and a lot will change because now you can see advertisement where they are including all sorts of color, not just the fair colors, because there was a time they used to appreciate fair colors and they would take people for advertisements and actresses who would be able to, perfect example of that fair skin. There are so many cinemas and plays, theater, where everywhere this skin tone is preferred over the darker skin tone. However, in the changing times, I think time is changing and we would be able to appreciate the brown skin as well as the darker skin tone because I think every skin tone is unique. Every skin is beautiful. It's a creation of God, and we should appreciate the gift of God no matter what, even if we have faced a lot of criticism for that. I have faced a lot. I cannot emphasize enough on that because if you look at my previous pictures, I used to be tanned. I was absolutely tanned, but with time, I think I started focusing more on myself, hydrating more, focusing upon my skincare and taught myself to do makeup as well. So I think these things are changing the way the human mind works. And I think we're developing and we are growing as a nation and as human beings. And there will be a time when we are all going to live in harmony. We will understand that unique should be appreciated and not criticized. So I think we'll be able to love all the shades and all the colors and everything. And this video is too long. So yeah, I'll see you in the next time. Till then, take care of yourself and keep hydrating yourself. Bye.